Concurrency in ASP.NET Core is very important topic, and this is very important to understand how we can handle conflict in ASP.NET Core. This session is for beginners only, and if you already know about the concurrency, then you can skip this session, and it is very important part of the ASP.NET Core tutorial series because this is prerequisite to understand how we can manage conflict handling. This side Nitin from TechWeb Dots. Let's check out the agenda for today. And in the last session, I have already discussed how we can check the state of the object, or you can say the change tracking. So before understanding the conflict handling, so concurrency is very important topic that I am going to discuss today. So let's start without wasting time. So concurrency, as you can see, two users want to update the same record. They read the record at the same time, and they also want to update the record at the same time. So in real world programming or in real world application, when two users want to update the different record, then there is no problem. But if two users want to update the same record at same time, then there is a problem. And that's the point where we should learn what is concurrency actually. And in Entity Framework Core, there are two types of concurrency that I would like to discuss. First is optimistic concurrency that contains concurrency check attribute and timestamp, or you can say the row version, which is a newer one. Second one is pessimistic concurrency, which is based on locking. Okay, so let's move ahead to check what exactly is optimistic concurrency. So optimistic concurrency allowing concurrency conflicts to happen and then reacting appropriately if they do. Okay, so what really mean is, if two users want to update the same record, then conflict will happen, and at that time we will decide what we need to do. Either exception will be thrown to notify the user, or we can handle behind the scene. Okay, and the most important part of optimistic concurrency is no locking is applied on the rows when we are reading, and properties configured as concurrency tokens are used to implement optimistic concurrency. Don't worry if this point is not clear. I will discuss all these points in a practical manner with Visual Studio and Entity Framework Core in my next session. Entity Framework Core first offers two approaches to detect concurrency violation. The first one is concurrency check, as I was already specified earlier, and the second one is timestamp or row version attribute. As you can see in these two images, the first one is with the help of data annotation, where we are using concurrency check, and on the second image you can see the same thing we are doing with the help of Fluent API. If you are not aware about that, these two conventions, then I strongly suggest you to watch my previous videos, or in the upcoming sessions I will discuss these points again and again. So I strongly recommend you to stay tuned for all the upcoming sessions. Okay, now I will discuss more details about the timestamp and the row version. Okay, so Entity Framework Core offers a way for letting the first one win. When saving a record, a verification needed if the data originally read is still in the database, means there is no change in meanwhile. If this is the case, saving data can continue as no changes occurred between reading and writing. However, if the data changes, a conflict resolution needs to be done, means at that time we need to decide what we need to do, because there is a conflict when the user reads the data and meanwhile some other user already applied some changes on that. Okay, so now this is a very important point that I am going to discuss. A timestamp or row version is a property for which a new value is automatically generated by the database every time a row is inserted or updated. So keep this point, when a row is inserted or updated, so at that time the row version will be updated. As you can see on the right side bottom, there is an image in that row version is different, okay, for each row. And on the server side in C# programming, we are using timestamp attribute on row version property. Okay, so the property is also treated as concurrency token, ensuring that you get an exception if a row you are updating has changed since you queried it. For SQL Server, a byte property is usually used, which will be set up as a row version or timestamp. As you can see on this side, timestamp I am using. You can also use row version as well. Okay, so this will be the column in our database. So I hope this is clear what exactly timestamp or row version is and where it is used. And the easiest one is the last one wins. So we've discussed the first one win criteria, the user saving the data last override changes the user that did the changes previously. So in this case, the last one wins. Okay, so I hope it is clear now. Now I would like to discuss the pessimistic concurrency, and which is based on locking. As you can see on the screen, if we have a shared repository, when a user on the left hand side requests for a version, so he gets the version 1 of the record, then he modifies it, and then there is a new version created of that record and that updated into the shared repository. But at the same time, if another user want to read the record, so that will not be possible, which is because that will be logged, okay, by the another user at the same time. So let's read out some very important points regarding pessimistic concurrency. So if our application does need to prevent accidental data loss in concurrency scenarios, one way to do this is to use database logs, and this is called pessimistic concurrency. For example, before you read a row from a database, you request a log for read only or for update access, and if you lock a row for update access, no other users are allowed to lock the row either for read only or update access, because they would get a copy of data that's in the process of being changed. Managing logs has disadvantages. It can be complex to program, it requires a significant database management resources, and it can cause performance problem, because as the number of users of an application increases, then we have to manage every log, and that will increase the load on the server as well. So for these reasons, not all database management system supports pessimistic concurrency. Entity Framework Core provides no built-in support for it. Keep in mind, I am repeating again, Entity Framework Core provides no built-in support for it. Okay, so I hope now these concepts are clear, because these are the prerequisites to understand the conflict handling. So thanks for watching. If you have any query regarding this, just drop a comment. I will reply on that as soon as possible. And in the next session, we will discuss conflict handling, which is a very important topic. If you like this video, just hit on the like button, because your feedback is very important, and that's the only inspiration for me to create such videos. So see you in the next video. Bye bye.